Hello, my name is Terrence E. Fredericks, Red Owl, Hidakabe Shish. We're here today to speak to you about a case that we are presenting, a complaint at the Three Affiliated Tribes Tribal Court. I would like to have Carol go ahead and introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Carol Goodbear, and I, along with Terry Fredericks and 6 other plaintiffs, are part of this important lawsuit to take care of some real crucial needs that are that have come up, and it's basically about the people's rights. So we're making these videos to do this outreach work, and our overarching theme is a sustainable future. And when you are focused on that kind of goal, then you have to notice you're most vulnerable. And from what we can surmise, our tribe is going in a direction where our most vulnerable, their needs are not getting met. And so we have the elders, we have the youth, we have the children, we have the veterans, we have those sick, we have those incarcerated, we have those who are off reservation. So approximately more than 3/4 of the tribe cannot vote in an election. So that's a violation of their rights. But the way things are handled currently, we'd like to see some changes, and we'd like to have give the people their rights back. So that's the overarching theme of this lawsuit, this complaint that's recently been filed. And the importance is key. The importance is to include people, inclusion. We want people to be included and be able to participate in their government. So that's, in a nutshell, kind of my introduction here, along with Terry. And I just want to leave it right there. I have some more to say, but Terry is going to speak to you a little bit more about some of the specifics, because we want the tribal court to direct our current elected officials to be transparent and accountable in accordance with our tribal constitution. And should we succeed in tribal court, then our tribal constitution will be adhered to. So that is a big part of just putting it in simple terms, why we are doing what we're doing. So I'll let Terry move into some of those specifics too.
Okay, thanks, Carol. What I want to bring up is this. We filed a lawsuit in tribal court. It's case number CV 2023-0469. And what that is going to pertain to is what the tribal council are doing without a lot of our knowledge. And this is in violation of the Constitution and bylaws, and that's what I want to hit on. Some of those reasons why this case is coming forward, and it's basically, to protect our future. Some of this stuff here, it's got to do with the Constitution, and what you may not know, because I know a lot of you out there have not read the Constitution of the Three Affiliated Tribes. And so I'm just going to hit on some points through this visual here. The people of the Three Affiliated Tribes, in order to achieve a responsible and wise administration of this sovereignty delegated by the Constitution to the Council, hereby specifically grant to the tribal court the authority to enforce the provisions of the Indian Civil Rights Act, 25 U.S.C. 1301, including the award of injunctive relief only against the council, if it determines through the injunction that the council has in a specific instance violated the act. And so
And basically, what that's pertaining to is the gist of our lawsuit. You know, through adjudication, we are going to be able to obtain the injunctive relief. And injunctive relief is where the court directs the Tribal Business Council to adhere to the Constitution. So in our particular lawsuit, injunctive relief we seek is for the court to have the Tribal Business Council be transparent about all the tribal monies. And so that section is very important, what Terry just read.
And what we did was we sent 7 letters to the consul, and also went in front of the consul and asked for several different things from them, which they have not responded to date.
In February of 2023, Terry was referencing a series of letters that were written to the Tribal Business Council. And in those letters, we questioned what happened with all the tribal monies that have been utilized from 2010 forward. And in those letters that were submitted, there was also questions to the Tribal Business Council about the housing. There was questions about the purchase, large land purchases made, one namely being the one in Nevada. In those letters, we questioned why there wasn't accompanying resolutions. And so we had drafted some real explicit, simple questions to the council, and they refused to answer us in writing or otherwise. And what Terry referred to is those various letters that were written in February. And on March 7th, Terry approached the council, not being on the agenda, not invited. Nobody said he could, but he approached the council, and we're told that we'll get back to you. Our legal department will get back to you. And Terry said, "Can you get back to me in 2 weeks?" And they said, the chairman said, "We'll get back to you whenever we can." Didn't give any definite time frame. February, and then March, May, June, July, August. So several months have passed, and we prepared, we sought some legal help and prepared this brief to be submitted September 7th. And we submitted our complaint September 7th. So what Terry is referencing is how, I just wanted to add this comment that, you know, we, as Indian people, we have a lot of dignity, integrity. We come from some good people, good ancestors. And what we wanted to do was to approach our elected officials and question what was happening right within the confines of our home, our reservation, right within we stood up in a council meeting asking, as tribal citizens, participating and asking for clarification. And since we cannot get results or answers, then we had to take it to the tribal court. Once this complaint is filed, then it becomes public knowledge. So a lot of our personal financial transactions, business transactions the tribe took, it became public knowledge now. Anybody can look up that case number and read it about what's happening on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. So I just wanted to emphasize that I believe Terry did the gentlemanly approach in asking first and in writing, submitting requests. And so I signed on with him on those letters. And I just like to emphasize that we wanted to take care of our own business in our own backyard, clean it up before this court complaint had to be filed. And that they didn't want to adhere, they didn't want to answer to anybody about what they've been doing from 2010 forward, and we haven't seen an audit on our tribal monies since then. There's federal monies, that's separate. The federal monies, they're going to be required to do audits on. They're finishing 2018, So they have 5 more audits to complete, and the federal government is asking about those federal monies. So the tribal monies, I just want to make clear that those are different. There's 1.2 billion that has been submitted to the tribe from 2010 forward. In 2010, Mervyn Packnell became the treasurer of the tribe. So that's the date we chose and moved forward to ask for answers, because we don't have clarity, we don't have transparency, therefore we don't see accountability. And those are the rights that were given to us in our tribal constitution. And those are the rights we're asking for the court to give us the injunctive relief on, which means basically make the elected officials show us the transparency, the accounting, the financials that we should be able to access, but yet aren't. State of North Dakota is huge and has brought in a lot of oil money. And on their website, they have all the state coffers. They have all the state numbers. It changes daily as they have expenditures. So we are smaller than that, and we could easily have a website that would show us accuracy on a day-to-day basis, just like the state of North Dakota does. The tribe made purchases, and some of it being land in Nevada, particularly one being on Las Vegas Strip. There was 3 purchases made, and there was no accompanying resolutions on all 3 of those purchases. And that particular tract of land that was purchased, all of it unbeknownst to any tribal members, we read about it in the media, and there's well over 115 million spent for those type of transactions.
I want to read another part of the bylaws, and this has got to do with Article 6, Section 5 states that the council shall have the powers enumerated therein, but that the exercise of those powers shall be subject to a popular referendum. Article 6, Section 5C of the Constitution provides that the council has the following responsibilities: to administer any funds or property within the exclusive control of the tribes, to make expenditures from available tribal funds for public purpose of the tribes, including salaries or other remunerations of tribal officials or employees. Such salaries and remunerations shall be paid only for services actually rendered. All expenditures from the Tribal Business Council shall be by resolution duly passed by the council to such effect, and the amounts so paid shall be matters of public record at all times.
I think Terry mentioned real important things here. First, the section he read was the first, our Constitution alluding to referendum. The section that Terry read is really crucial, and it talks about popular referendum. And the other part is where he says all expenditures from the Tribal Business Council shall be by resolution duly passed, and the amounts paid are a matter of public record at all times. So when they made those land purchases on Las Vegas Strip and bought those different parcels of land, it says in the Constitution that there should have been an accompanying resolution for every transaction. So there's 2 real important things, crucial things that the Constitution, that he delineated here out of the Constitution, and the popular referendum. So when Terry and I wrote those letters, and then we ended up filing this complaint in court, and the gist of what we're doing, these videos we're making, informational videos, is that we want to move to the petition portion of our strategy. So that means we need for all you good people to see what we're doing, educate yourselves, read what information we put out there, and make up your mind as to whether or not what we are doing is correct. Because if what we're doing is correct, we need your help to sign those petitions. From those petitions are going to come a referendum. And from those referendums, that's where all the tribal people should be allowed to vote on. For instance, let's say when they were going to make a purchase in Las Vegas, if they would have put a referendum out there, a petition, if they would have had a secretarial election, all the tribe could have said, yes, we want to see hundreds of millions of dollars invested on the strip in Las Vegas. So that part of this Constitution gives us the right to participate in our government when huge purchases like that are made. I just am getting into some of the thick and thin of it here, but that's a good example of why we had to file this lawsuit, was because they were following the Constitution and made decisions on your behalf, on my behalf, with or without my knowledge, and didn't care. So when I read it in the media, when I read it in the paper, I think I'd like to know when someone's going to spend $115 million of my money, I'd like to be asked first.
With that, I'm going to move on down to another one of the bylaws. Okay, this is Article 1, Section 3 of the bylaws, enumerates the duties of the treasurer of the council as follows. The treasurer of the Tribal Business Council shall accept receipt for, keep, and safeguard all funds in the custody of the council, whether they be tribal funds or special funds for which the council is acting as trustee or custodian. He shall deposit all such funds in a bank or elsewhere as directed by the council, and shall make and keep a faithful record of such funds, and shall report on all receipts and expenditures and the amount and nature of all funds in his possession or custody to the tribal council at regular meetings and at such other times as requested by the council. His reports to be in writing, and matters of record. He shall not expend or otherwise disperse any funds in his possession or in the possession or custody of the Tribal Business Council, except when he is authorized to do so by resolution duly passed by the council. So that is a pretty strict order right there that we feel is not being followed. And with that, I'm going to let Carol expound on that a little more. Okay.
That's the gist of a real important part of why we had to file this lawsuit. For no tribal members to be made aware of what is taking place with the tribal monies, and for no accompanying resolutions to be a part of some of the expenditures that were made. Those are two crucial things, three crucial things. The third one being where we don't see a report from the tribal treasurer on, and it says shall report to the council, and it even specifically delineates written reports. So if those are submitted, then we should be able to go in that tribal building and see them. None of us can see any treasury reports. When we look in the minutes, we have the current treasurer speaking of a bake sale taking place on the weekend, speaking of some community social event, but he doesn't speak to the people on his report. It says treasurer's report. He doesn't say anything about our tribal, our monies, and saying, here today I'm submitting my written report. So that is in direct violation of our tribal constitution.
And we also, with lawyer fees and stuff, we are asking for support. We need help to pay these costs. We're also going to have to pay for a company to come in that are CPAs to help us understand the numbers so we're not wasting the lawyers' times. And that's quite expensive. And so we'd like to get this over, the sooner the better. And, you know, the tribe will try to drag this out or not respond because that's what their MO is. And that's wrong to mistreat their own people this way. Like I said, I'm just a voice. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a really good speaker, but I do have a mind. And I would like to kind of leave that at that. Matsigadad's, Carol.
I want to add to that, Terry. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for those comments about our future and our whether or not we're going to have some fiscal responsibility here to set something up for our children's future. You know, a lot of the things we touched on today about this lawsuit were just the basic overarching goals of it. If you get on take the number, our CV number, and look it up, you can read in detail. It's a quite lengthy document, and it has several exhibits. And in making these videos today, Terry wanted to touch on some of the crucial parts in there where he's reading to you the sections of the tribal constitution that directly pertain to our rights as tribal members, tribal citizens. The reason we're doing this outreach work is to better explain what we did by filing the complaint in tribal court. And we gave you the CV number. We'll give that to you again. You can look that up and read that on the website more in detail. Terry hit on some of the main highlights, which explains our rights as tribal citizens. And there's a lot of things we know that we're facing, difficult times. And, you know, when we see remedies or some way we can help, whether it be political change, social change, environmental change, economic change, you know, whatever way we can do, there's a lot of moving parts here. The Constitution, adhering to that, the tribal constitution and the bylaws is one important part. Updating, changing that tribal constitution is well within our right. It's well within our power as the people. So those kind of things can all be improved on. And we and Terry would like to, you know, I was explaining this to tribal elders just yesterday. Some people are calling me. And I was telling them that, you know, we're just standing up for what is owed us and due us as a tribal citizen. We're not blaming. We're not coming in a negative way. We're doing the best we can with what we know about our own rights. And we see the world differently. You know, you and I, you know, we are part of a process greater than ourselves. You know, we have a certain connection with all the creation of what the Creator gave us. We have a connection with that. Some of us have a way to relate to each other, a way to relate to nature. There are different governing laws we can speak to and know of, and of those laws, there's the natural law, which is the Creator's law, and you will never get away with anything on that note, on that law. You know, you can fool the government, you can fool the white man law, legal, but you cannot fool God. You cannot trick the Creator. So all of this, what we're talking about, the victory is already ours. The fact that we stood up spoke volumes. It sent a ripple among our people, among other tribal nations. The fact that Terry and I and the other plaintiffs, we stood up to say something. You know, the quote from Edmund Burke, the only way evil can prevail is when good men do nothing. Well, I'm proud to say that we did not just sit back and let evil continue to prevail. We stood up, and we ask you to join us. We ask you to stand up with us. We ask you to make a commitment a tangible, action-oriented commitment, whether that be great or small. Get involved, educate yourself on what this lawsuit is about, educate yourself on what the Red Owl Committee Ethics and Reform, Irakabe Hishish. You know, that name comes from a renowned, well-spoken, well-educated, intellectual man who is no longer with us, where it says Red Owl. And that is a name that is still carried on by tribal members today, Terry being one of them. So that is where the inspiration came from for Terry to stand up. And we need people like Terry to stand up. We need people like Terry not afraid to walk into tribal chambers. We need people like Terry to stand up and go into tribal court. You know, we need people like Todd Hall, Tyke Danks, and I'm thankful for my nephews stepping forward, and my good friend Patty Jo Hall and my sister Callie Hosey. We need people, we need women like them, you know, to stand up for what we're doing. And so I'm excited. I feel the victory is ours. I feel that whatever the outcome, we have won. Sometimes you feel you're going against a battle, but the victory is already yours. And so I just want to speak to these issues in a positive way. I know there's a lot of other, voices speaking about how the tribal council is making mistakes, but I just want to talk about how this Mandan Hirata Arikara people, you know, that come from beautiful ancestors. I want to talk about today how, you know, we are not victims. You know, we are not going to stand by and let everything fall apart. We're holding it together for our people, for our children, for our grandchildren, and I'm excited about that. And I know that there's a reason for all of it, and the reason why, you know, God put a few of us together, some of us landowners, some of us, you know, ranchers, farmers, some of us stuntmen like Terry, movie stars. I mean, there's a group of people he put together, and there's a reason for it. And so I just wanted to speak to you young people out there who aren't afraid to stand up. You're not afraid to go, look at what happened at Nodapel. You're not afraid to stand up for what you see, some kind of injustice going on. You know, I just want to say those kind of things that you're doing, 7th and 8th generation, you make us proud. And so I'm happy for that. I'm excited about our future. And I know that we can put our good minds together and build a good, beautiful future for our children. And we can weave this web of understanding to include all the off-reservation people. And you can be included in this government. You can be in. We're all inclusive, and there are pockets of the vulnerable in our tribal, within the confines of our reservation. Your needs can get met. Those of you that I seen had dilapidated housing, third world country living standards. Those of you that are struggling along and wondering how to, not even worrying about rent, but worrying about trying to get money for food. I mean, those kind of things that are taking place right here in real time. You know, so we stood up for you, and we include you in our successes. It includes you when we succeed in our endeavors. So I just want to add those positive comments in what we're doing. And if you want to add to that, Terry, great.
Yeah, there's a thing called, I think the doctors came out with it, it's called Alzheimer's disease. And as we get older, you know, we have to watch out for that. But, you know, when we're dealing with the consul, I think they hope that we might get that, because they take a long time to answer, or they try to get out of it. And so I don't want to get Alzheimer's. And I want to hopefully see a change for the good for all of us, for everybody to come together. As Carol spot on with everything she said and how she said it. I commend her. We look for everyone to join in with our group, with the Red Owl Group Committee, get on board with the GoFundMe, because again, we are, we need help. We're not rich people or anything, but we are, the grassroots. We are all from Fort Berthold. We all have these bloods running through us, indigenous to the land. That's you. And we're requesting your help because it's not easy. And we need fundraising and stuff, and we're counting on you, so our lawyers will keep going with what a good path that's started. It's something we shouldn't have to do, but again, that's this way we have to do it. We're forced to do it, and that's taking us to tribal court and wherever else it's going to end up at. But we hope the council will change their mind and work with us instead of against us. And when I say against us, they're working against the people. The Constitution, the bylaws that are supposed to be there to protect us. We don't have a society out there of warriors to stop what's going on, and so we have to depend upon the courts, and that's the way it is today. And so with that, I pray to my grandmas and my grandparents, all them before me and all them that'll come after me. That's our great grandkids and yours, that will be adding money into the People's Fund rather than into somebody else's pockets. People's Funds should be paying us monthly, not whenever they feel like it. So I'm for you, and let's get her done.
When I speak to you today about wanting monetary help, I come from a humble place. I don't come from a place where I had it great one time and frivoled it away, and then now I'm broke and now I need your help. I'm not from that premise. I came from nothing. I struggled to get a 4-year degree. I struggled as a single parent. And then with what's happening in my current tribal government, our tribe, I feel that I have every right to stand up and to ask that all these things get addressed, all these things be brought back in line, all these things be revisited so that we can bring back that moral compass. We came from good people who knew right from wrong, who took care of each other. With or without this white man law, we are a tribe. We are a family. We have kinship. We have clanship. Mm-hmm. We care about each other. We worry about our missing murdered indigenous women. We worry about all these various potential economic hardships that might come about. Terry mentioned we're right here at Fort Lincoln, right south of Mandan, North Dakota, filming this, and we're this is the actual origin. Our origin stories come from here, right along this Missouri River. From the beginning of time, the Creator put the Mandan Hidatsa people here, and to this day, 2020, 23, here we are. Fast forward, we're still here. We're still living here by this river, by this water. And so I speak to you today with a good heart about that, being honest about who I am and what I'm about. I'm not afraid to ask for help, and I'm asking for your help. I'm asking for all of you who are going to see this video, whether you're a tribal member, whether you're native or non-native, whether you're from United States or from all over the world, whatever you see here and hear here, I'm asking for your help, to reach out and help me. Help me to help my people. Help me to take care of my children and grandchildren's future. Whatever it might be that you can, even if it's with a prayer or a good thought, those go a long way. Send us your prayers. So this last petition, it talks about me being reimbursed, all of us plaintiffs being reimbursed for what we put into paying for our lawyer. It's an important one to us because it's very costly what we're doing here. But nevertheless, just a word and a prayer. We entered into this, signed our name on the dotted line, didn't sit back and complain, but actually took action and stood up to do something, to speak up. And whatever way we were asking the Creator to pull this together for us, on a wing and a prayer is what we're doing. And so these are some of the things we come to speak about today. And we started a website called the redowlgroup.org. And you can find all our information on there as far as our complaint filed. And we also have a email called redowl2023@gmail.com. That's redowl2023@gmail.com. You can write to us there privately and ask us questions if you want. You can ask for information. And myself personally, I'm at carolgoodbear@gmail.com. My address is P.O. Box 1259, Newtown, North Dakota. You can text me if you're not comfortable with any of the other forms of reaching out for contact. You can call me 701-421-0111. I started a GoFundMe for our cause, and you can donate anonymously on that. You can donate, whether it be $5 or $20, whatever you can help us out with. We're going to do some bake sales, some auctions. We're going to do some fundraising. I just want to reach out to you to tell you that we are going to need your help, and not only by way of signing a petition, but by way of seeing if you can help volunteer. We need a lot of help when we go out to the outlying cities. If you could show up and help us set up tables, if you can show up and help us put the word out so that we could get as many tribal members together as possible. One of the things we had was to have a Zoom call. If you could help other tribal members get on that Zoom call, go to your home base there, the Indian Center in Chicago, or Albuquerque, or however which way you can pull together tribal members, and we can get them all in on that one call where we can talk about these things, inform everybody, and spread the word about everything we're doing. So we hope that you can get the gist of our messages. We mentioned the 8 petitions. We're going to put more information out there. If you give us your name and address and send that to redowl2023@gmail.com, we have good help. We have good people who are volunteering, and my daughter April will get back to you in a timely fashion. And we have our utmost sincerity asking for your help in that way.